way of connecting with nature is by cycling my beloved bike, Violet. I grew up in Somerset and I was surrounded by a very rural area, lots of fields, rolling hills, and I think looking back on it now, I didn't really appreciate where I grew up. And since living in Manchester and London, I've got a bike and I find cycling really helps. It releases that tension and stress of living in a city, and I love the fact that you can cycle wherever you want, whenever you like. I initially got my bike Violet after a month's travelling in China. Everyone cycles in China, it's really crazy. Apparently, of the 1 billion bikes in the world, over half of them are in China. I find that really crazy. I had such a great time in China, but during the end of my visit I got pneumonia and nearly died, which was pretty intense. And when I got back to Manchester, I felt like I didn't really just want to go back to a 9-to-5 job. I really wanted to do something fun as well that would help, and I found getting a bike really helped. It really enabled me to get that freedom and have fun when I was back in the UK. Of course, cycling in Manchester is a bit different to cycling when you're travelling or abroad because the weather isn't so great. But I started to realise that actually, when I cycled abroad, that was the really kind of fun thing of the holiday and the really fun part that I really enjoyed. So cycling back in Manchester has just been a really fun exercise for me to do. Of course, living in Chorlton as well, everyone cycles, so if you don't, you kind of look like a bit of an outcast really. But in terms of the weather, it does rain a lot in Manchester, and I suppose when I was at university I didn't own a bike, and I think I felt really self-conscious about putting on waterproofs and not being fashion conscious, and also wearing a bike helmet, which I suppose isn't the most fashionable of items really. But you know, I've got a lovely, very fetching floral Mac and some waterproof trousers, which are an absolute godsend. My boyfriend Chris, he's from New Zealand and he's totally obsessed with the weather. He checks it daily and gives me kind of weather report updates. But I think when you're on your bike cycling, you don't really care. You just like cycling around, and it's the really nice bravado on the road and with other cyclists, and you just kind of all stick together really, so it's really fun. So to describe my bike Violet, she's not a flash bike, but I love her. She's a purple, lilac and white Rally Pioneer. I initially had a wicker basket, but it broke when I overloaded it with shopping once, so I've replaced it with a nice pink wire basket. I have a practical belt and a ladybird belt, and I think I've just continued to kind of pimp her up since I've got her really. I've named her Violet. I think that's mainly because of her colour, but also I name lots of things, so it's not a massive deal, but I would be heartbroken if she got stolen. So one of the fun things I like to do is cycle to kind of Chorlton Water Park and kind of cycle around there, have a picnic, and I just think walking there just wouldn't be as fun. I like to go cycling with friends as well, and it's just a really fun thing to do, and it's just made me a lot happier.